Over the course of its 9-season run, the Beverly Hillbillies brought waves of laughter and joy to millions of American households. Yet behind those lighthearted, comedic moments lay deeply human stories, lives marked by quiet tragedies, hidden sorrows, and unexpected turns that few could have imagined. 1. Buddy Ebsen. From the abandoned Tin Man to an eternal television legend. If you remember Buddy Ebsen as Jed Clampett, the wise and kind-hearted farmer in the Beverly Hillbillies, then you may not yet know the full story of the iron will hidden behind his calm and gentle face. Before becoming an icon of American television, Ebsen was not only an actor, but a world-class dancer with remarkable elegance. Yet his career was once nearly destroyed by a devastating tragedy in 1939. Cast as the Tin Man in the legendary film The Wizard of Oz, Ebsen came dangerously close to death after inhaling toxic aluminum powder from the specialized makeup. His lungs were so severely damaged that he was forced to leave the project in great pain, marking a harsh and heartbreaking beginning to his journey in film. Though he carried lasting lung damage for the rest of his life, something that might have defeated many, Buddy Ebsen refused to surrender. Instead, he transformed that suffering into inner strength, steadily winning over audiences through decades of work on television. For more than 40 years, his presence on screen became a symbol of professionalism and dedication that generations of actors would admire. Beyond his artistic contributions, Ebsen was also beloved for his kindness and rare humility. When he passed away in 2003 at the age of 95, Hollywood did not simply say goodbye to a television legend. It honored a resilient soul who lived each day to the fullest, turning adversity into the very foundation of an enduring and timeless career. 2. Irene Ryan. The mischievous granny and a final breath devoted to the stage. If anyone truly deserves the title of a warrior of the arts, it is Irene Ryan, the woman who breathed life into the mischievous and vibrant granny in the Beverly Hillbillies. With her silver hair, sharp features, and boundless energy, Granny was more than a character. She became a cultural phenomenon. Yet behind the humor and seemingly fragile appearance was a spirit of steel. Irene Ryan was known as a fearless performer, often insisting on doing her own physically demanding and even risky scenes. Her courage in facing such challenges without the aid of stunt doubles earned the deep admiration of colleagues, including many of her male counterparts. At a time when Hollywood, bound by harsh age-related prejudices, assumed her career had reached its end in her 70s, Irene Ryan chose to defy expectations in spectacular fashion. She stepped away from the screen and onto the Broadway stage, where she not only captivated audiences but also earned a prestigious Tony Award nomination. It marked a powerful second peak in her career, a testament to the truth that genuine talent has no expiration date. Yet fate chose a dramatic and poignant ending for her extraordinary life. At the very height of her artistic expression on stage, she suddenly collapsed. A malignant brain tumor would claim her life in 1973. Irene Ryan passed away, but she did so in the place she loved most, beneath the glow of the stage lights. Her passing was not merely a loss. It became an enduring symbol of an artist who gave her final breath in service of her craft, leaving behind a legacy defined by courage, passion, and unwavering devotion to the art she loved. 3. Donna Douglas. Ellie Mae and a pure soul amid life's harsh currents. In the glamorous world of 1960s Hollywood, Donna Douglas achieved a remarkable feat when she outshone more than 500 promising candidates to become Ellie Mae Clampett, the pure-hearted country girl with an unconditional love for animals in the Beverly Hillbillies. With her natural beauty and the innocence shining through her eyes, Donna captivated an entire nation. Yet paradoxically, that very success became a harsh trap. The shadow of Ellie Mae grew so immense that it confined her within the image of a naive young woman, making it difficult for directors to see the broader range of her talent. Fame, in this case, became a double-edged sword that hindered her pursuit of new artistic challenges. After navigating the many ups and downs of both her career and personal life, Donna Douglas made a courageous decision, to step away from the spotlight and return to her roots in Louisiana. There, she found genuine peace through her faith and the uplifting spirit of gospel music. Rather than dwelling on the fading glow of past fame, Donna chose to dedicate the rest of her life to serving her community through quiet acts of charity and compassion. When she passed away in 2015 at the age of 82 after a battle with pancreatic cancer, Donna Douglas left behind the image of a woman who never allowed fame to tarnish the purity of her soul. She lived a full and meaningful life, not only as Ellie Mae on screen, but as a woman steadfast in her faith and kindness. Her story stands as a powerful testament to a profound choice. When the door of fame closes, one can still open another, even brighter path, guided by a sincere and compassionate heart. 4. Raymond Bailey, a journey from life's extremes to a master of subtle comedy. In the Beverly Hillbillies, Raymond Bailey delivered a brilliantly memorable portrayal of Milburn Drysdale, the cunning, opportunistic banker who constantly sought to profit from the Clampett family's innocence. His performance was so convincing that audiences could easily believe Bailey himself was a man of wealth and refinement, stepping straight out of a grand estate. Yet behind that polished exterior lay a life marked by hardship and turbulence, an unexpected journey that unfolded long before he reached artistic recognition in his later years. Raymond Bailey's life was far from the privileged image he portrayed on screen. Before finding his footing in acting, he endured a series of demanding and humble occupations. From braving the open seas as a sailor to laboring in pineapple plantations, he experienced the raw edges of life firsthand. These trials shaped him into a deeply intuitive actor, enabling him to infuse Drysdale with a sharp, satirical humor that felt both authentic and strikingly real. However, fate dealt him a cruel hand in his final years. As the spotlight gradually faded, Bailey was confronted with the devastating effects of Alzheimer's disease. It robbed him not only of his clarity of mind, the most precious asset of any artist, but also slowly erased the vivid memories of his own remarkable career. In 1980, Raymond Bailey passed away at the age of 75, bringing to a close a life defined by perseverance through adversity. He left behind more than the unforgettable image of a delightfully detestable banker. He left a lasting lesson in resilience, a testament to a man who fought until his final breath to carve out his place in the world. 5. Nancy Culp, a brilliant mind and the pain behind the curtain of fame. Nancy Culp, best known for her role as the sharp and composed Secretary Jane Hathaway in the Beverly Hillbillies, was far more than a talented actress. She was one of Hollywood's rare, true intellectuals. Holding a bachelor's degree in journalism and a master's in literature, along with her service in the United States Navy, she possessed a level of discipline, independence, and critical thinking that set her apart from many of her peers. While Jane Hathaway on screen could appear rigid and formal, Nancy in real life was a multifaceted woman, driven by a desire to contribute not only to the arts, but also to the demanding arena of politics. Yet beneath her strength and intellect lay deep emotional wounds, ones inflicted not by strangers, but by those closest to her. In 1984, when Nancy Culp courageously entered a congressional race, she faced an unexpected and deeply personal blow. Buddy Ebsen, her longtime co-star and companion through 9 years on set, publicly supported her opponent. This political betrayal struck not only at her campaign, but also severed a cherished friendship, leaving behind a scar that would linger for the rest of her life. In 1991, Nancy Culp passed away quietly after a long battle with cancer, closing the chapter on a life marked by both achievement and hardship. She left behind the image of a woman of strength, dignity, and intellect, yet also a reminder of the solitude that can accompany a life in the public eye. Her legacy extends beyond her performances. It lives on in the story of a woman who remained faithful to her ideals, even when life dealt her its most painful trials. 6. Harriet E. McGibbon, fragile elegance and the quiet sorrow of a mother. In the Beverly Hillbillies, Harriet E. McGibbon delivered a flawless portrayal of Margaret Drysdale, a wealthy, aristocratic woman whose poised elegance carried an unmistakable air of authority. Yet behind that refined exterior and the polished laughter on screen was a deeply gifted stage actress with profound emotional depth. Harriet did not merely perform. She inhabited her roles with the sensitivity and nuance of a true artist. Still, her life was not a theatrical tale with a comforting resolution, but rather a journey that moved from the heights of acclaim into a silence marked by profound sorrow. The greatest pain she endured, and the devastating turning point that shattered her world, was the sudden loss of her son in 1977. For any mother, no grief compares to the loss of a child. After that tragic moment, the glittering lights of Hollywood seemed distant and meaningless to her. Harriet gradually withdrew from public life and artistic pursuits, retreating into quiet solitude, as if seeking a fragile sense of peace amid the lingering memories of her loss. Her final years unfolded in near silence, far removed from the noise and glamour of the entertainment industry. In 1987, after a prolonged struggle with pulmonary complications, Harriet E. McGibbon passed away, closing the chapter on a life that was as graceful as it was sorrowful. She left behind the unforgettable image of Margaret Drysdale, while also reminding us of a deeper truth. Behind the smiles we see on screen, artists remain human, carrying private griefs that, at times, even the passage of time cannot fully heal. 7. Be Benaderit, a ballad of resilience and an eternal love. Long before audiences came to remember her as the strong-willed cousin Pearl Bodine in the Beverly Hillbillies, Be Benaderit was already a legend in American radio. Gifted with a remarkable voice and extraordinary expressive range, she became the soul of countless classic radio programs of her time, before stepping into a new and radiant chapter as a television actress. Yet behind that brilliance lay a quiet, deeply poignant battle that she carried with unwavering strength. While continuing to devote herself tirelessly to her craft, Be Benaderit was confronted with the devastating reality of lung cancer. And yet, rather than surrendering to despair, she chose to work until her very last breath. Her perseverance and profound love for her art became a powerful source of inspiration to everyone around her. Every scene she performed, every line she delivered in her final days, was more than acting. It was a declaration of a spirit that refused to yield to adversity. The ending of her life seemed almost written by fate, like a deeply moving yet tragic love story. In 1968, Be Benaderit passed away, and just 4 days later, her beloved husband, Eugene Twombly, died of a heart attack. As if bound by an unbreakable bond, they found their way to each other once more in their final journey. Bea left behind not only a legacy of remarkable talent and resilience, but also a timeless love story, one that reminds us that true love and passion can transcend even death itself. 8. Max Baer Jr., from the fool in chains to a bold business mogul. In the memories of generations of viewers, Max Baer Jr. will always be Jethro Bodine, the broad-shouldered young man whose physical strength stood in stark contrast to his limited intellect, a character who brought endless laughter in the Beverly Hillbillies. Yet few realized that behind that naive smile on screen lay a deeply personal and painful inner struggle. Max Baer Jr. once harbored resentment toward the role that made him famous, as the overwhelming shadow of Jethro became a set of invisible chains, confining his career and typecasting him as a fool, making it nearly impossible to pursue more serious, complex roles. However, rather than surrendering to industry stereotypes or losing himself in frustration, Max Baer Jr. chose a remarkably strategic path. Instead of trying to break free through acting alone, he approached the situation with the mindset of an entrepreneur. Recognizing the enduring value of the show, he made the bold decision to acquire rights and invest in projects related to the Beverly Hillbillies. This move not only liberated him from the shadow of Jethro, but also transformed him into a formidable figure in the business world. From an actor once limited by typecasting, he rose to become the wealthiest member of the cast, with an estimated fortune of around $50 million. As of 2026, at the age of 88, Max Baer Jr. continues to enjoy a fulfilling and successful life, standing as a testament to resilience and sharp vision. His journey proves that true intelligence lies not in how others perceive you, but in your ability to recognize opportunity where others see only limitation. Conclusion: behind the laughter of the Clampett family, The Beverly Hillbillies was never merely a light-hearted comedy series. It was a vivid reflection of the real lives of the actors who brought its characters to life. When the studio lights dimmed, the familiar faces we knew as the calm and steady Jed, the mischievous Granny, or the naive Jethro were left to confront their own private battles, struggles often hidden from the public eye. Their journeys were not only about sharing talent, but about sacrificing health, spirit, and at times even personal happiness to create moments of joy for audiences. From the iron resilience of Buddy Ebsen, who overcame a life-threatening health tragedy to dominate the screen for 4 decades, to the courage of Irene Ryan and the quiet, lingering sorrows carried by Nancy Culp and Harriet E. McGibbon, each story stands as powerful testimony to a deep and unwavering devotion to their craft. They were not just performers, but human beings of flesh and blood, bearing emotional scars and unspoken pain. Yet, in their own ways, they rose above it all, leaving behind an indelible mark on generations of viewers around the world. Looking back on their journey, we see more than laughter. We see a lasting legacy built on perseverance, sacrifice, and heart. The artists behind the Clampett family truly lived full and dignified lives. Whether basking in the spotlight or quietly fading from it, they have become an inseparable part of cultural memory, reminding us that behind every fictional character lies a real soul, a real life, one defined by resilience and worthy of the deepest respect.